I rushed through the front door, my heart already pounding before I even saw her. The moment I stepped into the bedroom, everything inside me froze. My wife, Sarah, was standing there in complete silence, packing her clothes into 2 suitcases like I didn't even exist in her world anymore. Not rushed, not emotional, just calm, dangerous calm. Fold, place, zip, like she had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. For a second, I couldn't even breathe. "Sarah," my voice came out broken. What are you doing?" She didn't answer immediately. She just kept folding another shirt, avoiding my eyes completely. That silence hurt more than any words could. Then finally, she spoke. "I can't live here anymore." Those words didn't just hit me. They shattered something inside my chest. I stepped closer. "What do you mean you can't?" "Sarah, we're married. Just talk to me." "What happened? Did I do something wrong?" "Stop." She finally stopped, slowly turned toward me, and what I saw in her face scared me. Not anger, not sadness. Fear. Deep, controlled fear. "I don't want to hurt you," she said quietly, "but I can't stay silent anymore." My eyes dropped to the bed. That's when I saw it. An envelope, plain white, placed neatly on top of the suitcase like it was waiting for me. My name wasn't written on it. My brother's name was Jace Cooper. Everything inside me went cold. I stared at it like it was poison. Why is Jason's name on this?" Sarah's lips tightened. Her hands shook slightly for the first time. "Because you deserve to know the truth," she whispered. My heart started beating faster. "What truth, Sarah? What are you talking about?" She didn't answer. Instead, she stepped back, like she couldn't even stand near me anymore. That's when I lost it. I grabbed the envelope, tore it open. Inside was a single folded letter. No greeting, no emotion, just a sentence that completely destroyed the ground under my feet. "I'm sorry, Daniel. I didn't want you to find out this way, but your brother Jason is not who you think he is." My hands went numb. I read it again and again, like maybe the words would change if I stared hard enough. But they didn't. Behind me, Sarah finally spoke again. "He's been lying to you for a long time." I turned instantly. No, that's impossible. Jason is my brother. He helped me my whole life. He was at my wedding. He built my career with me. Why would you even say something like that? Sarah stepped closer slowly, carefully. "Has he ever let you see everything about your company accounts?" I froze for a second. That question, I didn't like it. "Has he ever been inside your system late at night when you weren't there?" she continued. My chest tightened. "He helped me fix issues sometimes. That's normal." Her eyes hardened slightly. "And the night your company lost $300,000. That sentence hit like a bullet. I remembered it instantly. That night was chaos, unauthorized access, system breach, my login used. I nearly lost everything. And Jason was the one who helped me recover it. Calmed me down, told me it was a technical glitch." My voice dropped. "What about that night?" Sarah swallowed hard. "I saw him there." Silence. The room felt smaller. "No," I said immediately. "You're wrong. That's not possible." But Sarah didn't move. "I saw him leaving your office that night, Daniel. Late. When no one else was there." My mind started spinning. Jason, my office, that night? That didn't make sense. It couldn't make sense. Then my phone buzzed on the table. Unknown number. One message. "Stop asking questions about Jason if you want your life to stay normal." My body went cold instantly. I slowly looked at Sarah. "Did you send this?" She shook her head quickly. "No, I swear." The air between us turned heavy. Something was wrong. Something was deeply, dangerously wrong. I tried calling Jason immediately. No answer. Again. Still nothing. Sarah watched me pacing the room like she already knew what I was about to do next. "You're going to him, aren't you?" she asked softly. "Yes," I said without hesitation. "I need answers from him directly." She stepped in front of me. For the first time, she looked emotional. "Daniel, please don't go alone." That stopped me, just for a second. Because her voice, it wasn't manipulation, it was fear, real fear. But I still walked away. Because I needed the truth from Jason myself. The drive felt longer than it should have. Every red light felt like it was warning me to turn back. But I didn't. My mind kept replaying everything. The letter, Sarah's words, the message, Jason's silence. Nothing added up anymore. And that scared me the most. When I finally reached Jason's apartment building, something felt off immediately. His door. It was slightly open. I didn't remember him ever leaving it open. I pushed it gently. "Jason?" No answer. I stepped inside slowly. The apartment was dark, too quiet. Then I saw it. His laptop was open on the table, still running. And on the screen, my company's internal security system. My stomach dropped. Why would Jason be logged into my company system at home? I took a step forward, and that's when I heard it. A voice behind me. Calm. Controlled. Closed the door. I froze, slowly turned around. Jason was standing there, watching me. No surprise on his face, no shock. Just calm. Too calm. "You shouldn't have come here," he said quietly. My voice shook. "Tell me it's not true." He didn't answer immediately. That silence said everything. "Tell me you didn't touch my system," I repeated louder this time. Jason exhaled slowly. It's not what you think. That sentence again. The same sentence Sarah used. The same sentence people use when the truth is worse than imagination. I stepped closer. Then, explain the money. Explain the breach. Explain why Sarah thinks she saw you at my office that night. For the first time, Jason looked away, just for a second. And that second changed everything. My phone buzzed again. Another message from Sarah. Don't trust him. Come back now. My grip tightened. Jason noticed instantly. What did she send you? He asked. I didn't answer. Because suddenly, his laptop screen flickered. A hidden folder opened automatically, and inside was a security footage video from my office that night. And there he was, Jason, standing inside my company building at 2:47 a.m. But he wasn't alone. Someone else was with him. Someone I recognized instantly. Sarah. My world stopped. My breath disappeared. And Jason finally spoke again, his voice low, serious. I wasn't the one stealing from your company, Daniel. He paused. I was trying to stop it. Before I could respond, the lights went out. Complete darkness. And a voice I didn't recognize said from the corner of the room, you both walked right into this. A gun clicked, and everything went silent. The room stayed in complete darkness after the gun clicked. No movement, no breathing except mine. Even that felt too loud, like it could give my position away. Don't move, the unknown voice said again, calm, almost satisfied. I felt my heart slam against my ribs. Jason was somewhere to my left. I could hear his breathing now, controlled, steady, like he was thinking even in this chaos. Sarah was near the entrance. I heard her quick footsteps stop suddenly. And me, I was frozen behind the couch, trying to understand how my life had turned into this in just one night. The gun clicked again, this time closer. I said, don't move, the man repeated. Jason finally spoke, his voice sharp but controlled. You're not here to kill us. If you were, you would have done it already. Silence. That statement changed the atmosphere instantly. The man didn't respond for a few seconds, then gave a small, cold laugh. You're smarter than your brother said you were. My blood turned cold. Brother? He wasn't talking about Jason. He was talking about me. Before I could react, Sarah suddenly spoke from the doorway. Daniel, stay down. Don't come out. Her voice was shaking now. This wasn't the same calm Sarah from earlier. This was fear, real fear. And then I heard footsteps again, slow, deliberate. The man moved closer to the center of the room and suddenly switched on a small flashlight attached to the gun. The beam hit Jason first, then slowly moved to Sarah and stopped on me. Now, he said quietly, we can finally talk properly. My eyes adjusted slowly. I saw him clearly now. Dark coat. No emotions, no panic, just control. He wasn't a random intruder. He was trained. Jason stepped slightly forward. Who are you working for? The man tilted his head, still asking the wrong questions. Sarah suddenly interrupted, her voice breaking slightly. It's him, Daniel. He's the one I told you about. I frowned. Told me about? You never told me about him. She looked at me, and for a second her expression changed. Like she had been hiding something longer than I realized. Then she whispered something that hit harder than the gun. I didn't want you to know, because I didn't want you involved. My mind spun. Involved in what? I asked. Jason answered instead. A data leak. Your company's financial system wasn't just hacked, Daniel. It was sold. I shook my head instantly. No, that's not possible. Only trusted people had access. Jason looked at me directly. That's the problem. The man in the coat slowly walked toward Jason now, ignoring me completely. You really did your homework, he said. But not enough. Jason didn't move. If this is about money, you're done already. The system has been secured. The man smiled slightly. That system? He repeated. That system was just the bait. My stomach dropped. Sarah stepped forward slightly. Bait for what? The man finally looked at her properly. For him, and he pointed directly at me. My entire body went cold. What, me? I whispered. Jason immediately turned toward me. Daniel, did anyone new join your company in the last 6 months? I tried to think. New hires, interns, consultants. Then I remembered. One person. A system analyst brought in by my business partner. My business partner, Armin. Jason noticed my face change instantly. You remembered him, Jason said. I nodded slowly. Armin, he said he was optimizing our security systems. The man in the coat laughed softly. Optimizing, he repeated. That's a nice word for stealing everything without you noticing. Sarah looked at me, her voice softer now. That's why I started investigating your logs, she said. Because things didn't match. Someone inside your system wasn't just accessing data. They were rewriting history. My legs felt weak. You were investigating this, I asked her. She nodded slowly. And Jason helped me. I turned to Jason, disbelief rising again. So all this time, you were inside my system. Jason didn't deny it. I was trying to trace the source, he said. But every time I got close, the trail disappeared. The man suddenly raised his gun slightly. Enough talking. The room froze again, but this time Jason moved first, fast. He grabbed the edge of the table and flipped it toward the man. The gun fired instantly. Glass exploded. I ducked as something crashed beside me. "Daniel, move!" Jason shouted. Sarah grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the hallway. We ran. Behind us, footsteps followed. Fast, heavy. The man wasn't panicking. He was hunting. We reached a narrow corridor. Jason blocked the entrance behind us, pushing furniture to slow him down. Sarah was breathing hard. "We need to get out of the building." I looked at her. "What is happening, Sarah? Tell me everything now." She hesitated, just for a second. Then she said the sentence that changed everything again. "Armin didn't just steal from your company. He's been building a fake financial network using your identity." My mind exploded. "That's impossible," I said. "I would seen it." She shook her head. "You wouldn't, because he used your brother's access." I froze instantly. Jason stepped closer. "My access," Sarah nodded. "That's why I sent you the letter, Daniel. Because Jason's credentials were used to make it look like he was the one behind everything." Jason clenched his jaw. "So I'm the scapegoat." The hallway suddenly echoed with a loud bang. The man was breaking through. "Closer." Sarah grabbed both of us. "Listen to me carefully. If Armin finishes transferring the remaining data tonight, your entire company will be emptied and both of you will be framed." I felt my chest tighten. "And me?" I whispered. "Why am I the target?" Sarah looked at me, and her voice dropped. "Because you are the signature owner of everything." Silence. That meant one thing. Legally, financially, everything still traced back to me. Jason looked at me seriously. "Daniel, if he completes this, you will go to jail for crimes you didn't commit." And another loud crash echoed behind us. The door was breaking. Jason grabbed my shoulder. "We don't have time. We stop him now or lose everything." I looked at both of them. My wife, my brother, and a man behind a door trying to destroy my life. For the first time in my life, I didn't know who I was supposed to trust. Then Sarah whispered one final thing. "There's only one way to stop him, but it requires access from both of you." Jason nodded slowly, and I realized whatever she was about to say next would either save my life or destroy what was left of it. And that's when the door finally broke open. The door burst open with a loud crash. Splinters of wood flew into the air as the man in the dark coat stepped through, gun raised, breathing still perfectly calm. No rush, no panic, like he already knew how this would end. Jason moved instantly, grabbing a metal stand and throwing it toward him. The man dodged slightly and fired again. Shot hit the wall just inches from my head. "Down!" Jason shouted. Sarah pulled me hard behind a pillar in the hallway. My heart was hammering so fast I could barely think. From the corner, I saw Jason facing him directly now. And for the first time, the man smiled. "You're wasting time," he said. "By the time you stop me, the transfer is already halfway done." Sarah whispered urgently into my ear. "We need the main server access now." I looked at her. "Where is it?" She hesitated for a fraction of a second. "In the basement office, main control unit." Another shot fired. The lights flickered again. Jason shouted, "Daniel, go with Sarah. I'll hold him here." "No," I said instantly. "I'm not leaving you." Jason looked at me for a second, then something changed in his expression. Not fear, not anger, trust. "For once," he said quietly, "just trust me like I trusted you when we were kids." That hit deep. Sarah grabbed my hand. "We don't have time," and she pulled me toward the emergency stairs. We ran. Fast. The building echoed behind us with footsteps and distant gunfire. My mind was spinning. Everything I believed about Jason, about Sarah, about my life, had collapsed in one night. And yet somehow they were the only ones trying to save me. We reached the basement control room door. Locked. Sarah pulled a small key card from her pocket. I stared at her. "You had this all along?" She avoided my eyes. "I told you. I was already investigating before you found out." The door opened. Inside, dozens of screens blinked with live financial data, transfers, encrypted routes, and one name repeated everywhere. Armin, my business partner, the man I built everything with. Sarah rushed to the main terminal. "If we cut the access here, we can freeze the transfer." My hands shook as I stepped closer. On one screen I saw it. My company's entire financial network draining in real time, account by account. "You've got to be kidding me," I whispered. Sarah typed rapidly. "I just need 2 authentication signatures. Yours and Jason's." I froze. "Jason is upstairs," she nodded. "Then we delay it long enough for him to send it." A loud explosion echoed above us. We both flinched. He was getting closer. Sarah looked at me seriously. "Daniel, if we don't stop this in the next few minutes, everything is gone. Your company, your name, your freedom." I swallowed hard, and then I made the choice. I pulled out my phone. Jason answered almost instantly. "Are you alive?" he asked. "Yes," I said quickly. "Listen to me carefully. We need your authentication code." Now, gunfire echoed in the background on his side. "I can't," Jason started. "You have to," I shouted. "Everything is being drained right now." A pause. Then Jason's voice turned calm again. "Daniel, look at me. I need you to remember something." "What?" "That night when you started your company, I told you I'd always protect it, even if you hated me for it later. My throat tightened. Then he said, sending it now. A second later, Sarah entered the code. The system froze. Every screen stopped moving. The transfers halted mid-process. Silence. Then a single alert flashed. System locked. We both exhaled at the same time, but outside the room, we heard slow footsteps again. The man in the coat. He appeared at the doorway, but this time, he wasn't smiling. For the first time, he looked frustrated. Sarah stood up. It's over. He tilted his head slightly. It's not. And then he pressed a small device in his hand. The system screens flickered again, restarting. My stomach dropped. No, I whispered. He smiled faintly. You stopped the transfer, but you didn't stop the backup network. Sarah whispered in shock. He built redundancy outside the main system. The man looked at me directly. You were never the target, he said slowly. Your company was. You were just the easiest way in. My hands clenched. Then suddenly, footsteps thundered from above. Jason appeared at the stairs, injured but standing. He saw the man. And for a split second, everything went still. Then Jason said one sentence. You're done, Armin's proxy. My eyes widened. What? Whispered. Jason looked at me. Daniel, the real Armin never showed his face. This man is just the handler. The man laughed, and then his phone rang. He looked at it, and his face changed. For the first time, panic. Jason stepped slowly. It's over. We traced your real location already. The man backed up. No, he whispered. Sarah quickly hit a final command on the system. All data trace locked. Location confirmed. Sirens suddenly echoed faintly outside the building. Police. The man tried to run, but Jason grabbed him. A struggle, a final crash, and then silence. Minutes later, the system was fully secured. The fraud network collapsed. The money trail reversed and frozen. And everything went quiet for the first time that night. I sat on the floor, exhausted, unable to even process what just happened. Sarah sat beside me. Jason stood a little away, injured but alive. I looked at both of them. My voice barely came out. So, you were both telling the truth. Sarah nodded slowly. Jason added, and we both thought we were protecting you in different ways. A long silence followed. Then I laughed, tired, broken, relieved. I almost lost everything, because I didn't trust the people closest to me. Sarah looked down. Or because someone wanted you to believe you were alone. Jason sat next to me. For what it's worth, he said quietly, you weren't alone. I took a deep breath. And for the first time that night, I felt calm. Sometimes betrayal is not what it looks like on the surface. The people who seem to be hiding things from you may actually be protecting you from a truth you're not ready to face. And sometimes, the real enemy is not outside your family or your trust, but inside the systems and people you never thought to question. Because in the end, trust is not about never doubting anyone. It's about choosing the truth, even when it hurts. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to think about the people and memories you never want to lose. And if you enjoy emotional stories with powerful twists and meaningful lessons, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who means home to you. I'll see you in the next story.